contest set for one fall is for the WWE Championship.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Welcome to another edition of Around the Turnbuckle. My name's the Big Alboski. That guy right there is Professor Keith, as always. And the gentleman to the far right of your screen is the one and only J.T. Funk. What's up, man?
Woo! I'm so excited, baby. Let's go around the turnbuckle.
And he just can't hide it. All right. I need to, on the onset, JT Funk, I need to say, first off, welcome back. Second, I got to give a huge shout out to the wife for that flyer that promoted your appearance here today. So I was told to make sure to let you know that she worked long and hard on that flyer.
Wow, that's so amazing because that flyer was really dope. I just want to let you know that was really, really good. So kudos to you.
All right, so here's the I'm gonna, before we get started, dude, and find out where you've been and what's going on. I got comments up the wazoo. So Jackson Beauregard, JT Funk, yup, right there.
Let's go.
I got Kadeem, Funk Master. David Motorman, man. Hi guys, greetings. Hey JT, let's talk some wrestling. Jackson's calling you the GOAT.
Well, thank you.
Thundercat Greg Winters is in the house. JT
Greg,
Funk is in the
what's
house.
up, man?
Thundercat, baby. Yeah, I love it. Boys, this is amazing, and JT Funk is killing it. I love it.
Thank you, man.
My wife is JT Funk, exclamation point.
Thank you so much. That flyer was amazing.
Unbelievable. Joe Dudley, let's get funky. Welcome back, brother. Still waiting on that match between you and he.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen for sure. I've been making my rounds, so it's gonna happen.
I love it. Yo, everybody's here. Uncle Maine, the GOAT. All right. We got through a lot of them here, all right? Mary Beth, yay, Jake. All right, we got you, man. All right. All right, man, so let's get into it. Where have you been? First and foremost, I do know that you had a movie come out, and you have a re-premiere in Delaware coming up in April. So talk a little bit about that. Talk a little bit about Kingmaker and that whole experience, man.
Oh, man. So, it was so fun, filming and stuff like that. But, I don't really – it's not like wrestling because you get that live reaction. That's what we thrive off of, that live reaction. Whereas filming, it's just talking to a camera. And then, you have to psych yourself out for a certain role. And then you also have to shoot the same scene multiple times from different angles. So it becomes kind of but the whole experience was fun. I learned so much. And, it's seeing that different side, because people don't really see that. And me coming from the live performance aspect, I seen a different side. It was just so much, but it was so fun. And then when we got to the premiere, that was really cool, too, because a lot of my family and friends and fans came out to support. And we was all dressed up. It's funny because, when I first got there, the producer, George Burkett, he had maybe about 500 of the flyers, and he wanted us to just sign them, right? And I always watched that John Cena clip back in 2011 or 2010 where he was signing all those. It was like 5,000 he was signing, and I'm like, man, that's gonna be me one day. And I just reflect back to that time, and here I am doing not wrestling but movie flies. So I was signing them, and they was like, "You got really nice signature." I was going fast because it was so much. I'm like, pass. And the guys was like, wow, can you slow down? I'm trying to catch up. I'm like, I've been waiting for this moment. So, but yeah, for the most part, man, it was so cool. We had 2 premieres. It was in Baltimore. It was 2 premieres, and it was so cool. You know what I mean? It was just a dope experience. So we're actually in the process of we have another premiere in Delaware, which is next month. And then we're going to be shooting a part 2, which is June. So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, so yeah, that next premiere is in April, and I believe it's in Wilmington, Delaware, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
I think Keith, I wish we could see that, but I actually talked to director George Burkett earlier today.
Okay.
And I did, because I wanted some information on Kingmaker, and he told me that coming soon we're going to be able to watch it at home. So I'm going to definitely check it out when that becomes available at home.
Most likely it'll be through Amazon Prime, because we had a lot of issues with Netflix. Netflix is either you have to have the money, or 2, you have to have the connections. And Amazon Prime seemed a little bit more beneficial. I think that's probably the direction we'll probably end up going.
I can't wait, because I'll rent it, whatever it takes. All right, great. Right, the movie. I can't wait to see it. Says Thundercat. Big Chris Vant, what's up, my brother? Nice to see you again. The wife is saying hi from Natalia. That's my daughter saying hi to JT Funk.
Hi,
Natalia. And Thundercat might have to fly up to Wilmington for the premiere if I can. How about that?
Wow. Well, listen, man, shoot me a message, and whatever I can do to help you, if you need a place to stay or if you need help with something, I'm going to get you here. So let me know.
Keith, all I keep hearing about JT Funk because we go weeks without talking, because he's so busy, and he's wrestling all over the place, and of course he's busy with the movies and stuff. All I keep hearing when I mention his name is what a great guy JT Funk is. Anybody that's ever met him in the wrestling business, from Carolina Jim to half the roster of the guys that we've interviewed on Around the Turnbuckle, right, Keith?
This is true. Yeah.
Wow.
You are much beloved.
My son, Zach. It's his birthday tomorrow. How's it going, Zach?
Wow. Well, happy early birthday. How old are you turning?
Mm-hmm.
He's turning 19.
Wow.
Yeah, how about that? I got a 19-year-old, right? Thundercat says he appreciates you for the offer.
Shoot me a message, man. We can talk about it more in detail.
Awesome. All right, so that's Kingmaker. That's what's going on. So let me check out some wrestling now. So when was the last time you wrestled? And where?
Last weekend, Phoenix Championship Wrestling. It was in Arizona.
Wow. How'd that go?
Phone call. Hold up. Give me a second. I gotta put it on Do Not Disturb, because this is ridiculous.
Yeah, they're all jumping in now. Yeah, we're gonna lose him for a second, but he will be back. Zachary did say thank you. So yeah, he wrestled in Arizona. I saw, on social media. I saw you. Yep, I got you back.
Okay. We got you.
Arizona.
Yeah. So yeah, it was awesome, because a guy posted something. It was probably like 2-3 months ago. The promoter posted something, and he was like, he wanted guys to send in, matches, and he'll critique or whatever. I sent him my stuff, and he was like impressed. And he was like, hey man, I don't have anything right now, but coming into the new year, we would like to bring you in. I'm like, okay. So he messaged me like in January, I believe, and was like, hey man, what's your dates for March 12th? I want to bring you in. I'm like, yeah, I'm available. And that's kind of how it happened. But yeah, they drew like 500 to 600 people. It was a lot of people there. I got a nice reaction, but ain't nothing like the hometown heroes. A lot of the hometown heroes, they got a bigger pop than me. But we had a good match. It was phenomenal. And I had a good time. And they want me to come back. So
that's awesome. Thundercat says, I had a match last night against AEW's own Adam Priest, and I had the most fun ever.
Wow, that's awesome. I would like to see the footage of that. So when you get a chance, please send me that, Mr. Thundercat.
Oh, yeah. Thundercat sends me all his matches. I forgot to tell you that, too.
I'm jealous now.
So I'll see it soon enough. So you wrestled Arizona. That was the most recent, but I mean, you got anything coming up?
I have a show actually next week in Milwaukee, actually. GLCW. And I've been wrestling there since January, and I love it there, man. It's just these people are like, I always thought like, the West Coast. Well, I think I would consider Wisconsin more of Midwest, right? When you consider
Right.
Milwaukee Midwest?
Yeah, a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah. So I always thought the people on the West Coast were a lot nice, but man, these people, let me tell you how nice these people are. So when I got to my show in January, this was the first show I attended. I got there. And as soon as the promoter seen me, he was like, "Hey man, we're so happy to have you," and whatever. And he's like, "How did you get here?" I'm like, "Well, I flew in, but I got a hotel, closer." And he was like, "Did you catch an Uber here to the show?" I was like, "Yeah, because I don't know anybody here." So he's like, "You know what? Don't worry about it. I have a place here. A lot of the guys stay at my house, so they have to pay for hotel, and we'll drop you off at the airport when you go back home." I was like, "What?
Nice.
That's
Wow.
amazing, right?" Everybody was so friendly. So, we kind of like was hanging out at his house after the show, and everybody ate. It was food there. It was just amazing, man. Everybody was just so forthcoming and welcoming. I'm like, you don't get like this on the East Coast.
Jackson Beauregard, he says, got to see the GOAT in February. He is so awesome, man. Man gave me a picture and everything.
Wow. Yeah, I believe I met him in Milwaukee, by the way. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, GLC. We need JT Funk and GLCW, he said.
I'm coming back.
There it is. Yeah, you're everywhere, man. I mean, I'm so happy for you because like I've been following you on social media, of course, but like it seems like you just keep getting bigger and bigger, and I'm wondering not if, but when we're gonna see you signed by somebody who puts you on TV every week.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. I'm just trying to create, a buzz, right? And I'm trying to do it strategically because, like, at the end of the day, I'm a wrestler. I'm a professional wrestler. I'm an entertainer. I'm a sports entertainer. I'm all these cool things, but more importantly, I am a brand. JT Funk is a brand, right?
Right.
So
Mhm.
if I can build, around that, everything will come to me because it's just like a job, right? Like if you obviously my goal is to be hired by WWE, but I want to build the leverage. You know what I mean? A lot of guys don't have leverage, and I'm trying to have leverage so that way when they come to me, I can say, "Hey, look, this is what I offer. This is what I am." As opposed to them hiring me, then they change my name and it's what they want me to do, kind of
Right.
thing. I'm a team player, right? But I still want to have some type of leverage. I still want to do the things that I want to do to make me happy. You know what I mean? So I think if I build that leverage up with my brand, I can do a little bit more. I can have a little more wiggle room if that makes sense. So I'm just trying to build my brand up, man. That's all.
So down along the bottom of the screen, in case anybody just joined us, I have flashing along there about his Delaware premiere of Kingmaker, starring JT Funk in Wilmington, Delaware, Saturday, April the 23rd. Get your tickets at evanbright.com. That's where you can get tickets for that event. Meanwhile,
I also wanted to know that'll be the last premiere, the live premiere. But we don't know for sure like when it'll be on Amazon Prime, but that's the goal we're working towards. But yeah, so that'll be the last premiere.
my son says being in WWE sounds fun but difficult to manage.
Yeah, when I had my tryout in 2019, I think the wrestling aspect of wrestling WWE, that's easy, right? Wrestling, but it's just so much other things that you have to worry about. You have to talk to 2 or 3 different agents regarding the promo. Then it's just so much. It's overwhelming, but it's something I can manage. I can do it. But again, like I want to be able to cut my promos the way I want to cut my promos. And being there, it's a lot of restrictions. So I understand only the big guys, only the bigger guys can do what they want. But if you're a guy just coming in, you can't do what you want. So I don't know, man. I would try probably AEW first. So
How about would you consider Impact at all?
absolutely, yeah, for sure, absolutely, yeah.
So one of the guys that you sent Keith and I as a guest was Joshua Dawkins. You remember him?
Yep.
And he is now on 205 Live.
I saw, yeah.
And let me tell you what, the fun part about what Keith and I do is seeing somebody that we met on this show that we do succeed like that to get to the point where he wants to be, because he's now referred to as Malik Blade. on 205 Live,
Yeah.
and I text him to be back on around the turnbuckle, and he had not been announced. He had not shown up, but he was already signed by WWE. So he sends me a message and saying, "Well, there's kind of a problem with that, but it's a good problem." And so that's how he broke the news to me about his WWE debut, but he wasn't allowed to talk about it yet.
Yeah.
So I thought I got so excited and goosebumps when I saw him on 205 Live. I went berserk. So I text him. I text him immediately. I'm like, dude, you're on 205 Live. And he goes, I know, it's cool, right? So stuff like that is awesome. Like some of the guys that you've met over your travels are doing the same thing you're doing, building that brand, marketing yourself, trying to get your name out there, and trying to get where he ended up, or AEW or wherever. But you since the last time we talked to you I think you, not just the movie, but everything I think you have exploded. Am I wrong in saying that?
I mean, I'm a harsh critic of myself, right? And I'm always working hard, and I'm always trying to just do whatever I can, man. But yeah, you can say that, but for me, it's not good enough, man. It's not good enough. I need to be wrestling consistently every weekend. I have been for the past 4 or 5 weeks, but this was my first weekend off, but it needs to be every weekend consistently.
Right.
Wrestling wise, but
you want to wrestle every week.
Yeah.
Like you want to be booked every week.
Yeah.
So Thundercat says JT Funk should come up with a good on the spot promo for us right now.
Oh, is that what you want?
Challenge.
Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Are you ready? Are you sure? If you want to see JT Funk, I'm still in Stone Cold's line. If you want to see JT Funk shoot an on the spot promo, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's get it. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am JT Funk. I am the rising star, and guess where I'm at right now? I am live on Around the Turnbuckle with who? You know who? The Professor Keith, and the Big Balboski. Oh, Alboski. I'm sorry about that. I apologize. But you know what? We're live, baby, and that's fine. We're live. And we're going to funk it all the way up Around the Turnbuckle, baby, because that's what we do. And if you don't believe me, just watch.
I got about 10 hell yeahs, all right? Bro, you're killing it. You're killing it. Everything for you has blown up, and I've noticed it also. Way to go for you, brother. I'm so proud, says Thundercat.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Hey, it's so crazy because, with my promos, I'm going to give y'all a secret, right? So my promos live are so much better as opposed to my recorded promos because I don't have that live audience. I don't have that crowd reaction, So those are some of the things that I struggle with, but I still make it work because I don't want my promos to come across as nervous or come across as I don't know what I'm doing, right? So that's what I tell people. A lot of times, even if you're unsure about something, even if you mess up, if your personality's still over the top, you can still win the crowd over. You know what I mean?
You got a standing ovation from my wife. Look at that.
Woo, 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 woo.
Keith, I don't even get a standing ovation from her.
I mean, you might at one time you might have, but yeah, not lately.
Right.
Not lately.
Whatever. So there's big news for us. I wanted to tell you live. I know, and I know you already know this, but Keith and I, starting next week, I believe, are going to be broadcast partners for a local show here called 3WA Carnage. Mm-hmm. I sent you stuff for your criticism of me personally, but which I am taking to heart. Believe me, everything you said, I've taken to heart, and I really want to do professional wrestling justice, not just myself. But having Keith there, you mentioned you weren't a fan of me being alone. Do you think that having Keith there with me, kind of playing off of each other, will work better?
Oh yeah, for sure. And as I mentioned before, that's a personal preference, right? You know what I mean? Some people may enjoy it, but I was just saying, me, like, it's hard for me to get into the action when it's one person talking to themselves. But if you have another person to play off of, it always works. You know what I mean? Especially somebody you're familiar with, you know. And you guys can obviously figure out how you want to do it. Like, maybe you could be the heel, he could be the baby face, or he could be neutral, you could be the heel, or however you guys play it out. But you know what I mean? Just some character and some just over the top stuff will always do it, you know. I mean, even if you want to be cool.
And trust me, we have a game plan. Keith's going to be the play-by-play guy, the voice of reason, because he knows the history, he knows the moves, he knows all that stuff to call it, and I know he will do a spectacular job. And I will be the heel commentator, making my my comments. And they've already the local fans of 3WA have already been tearing me up on social media about my comments concerning certain members of 3WA that are, let's just say, shady characters, so to speak. This is how professional wrestling should be. We should all be in this together, and we should do what we can to bring each other up and love the promo. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
To me, guys, the Big Alboski and the Professor Keith is almost like Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler.
Oh,
that is high praise.
Wow.
We are not worthy.
I appreciate it, Thundercat.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Well, listen, man, I got faith in y'all. I know y'all gonna do pretty good, and whatever I can do to help you guys, I will do just that. But I think you guys will be fine.
Man, you're helping me right now. We have a movie star sitting here on our show, so you're helping us just by your presence alone. But I know. Keith, no mistake about it. If I text JT Funk, no matter how busy he is, he gets back to me within an hour or two at most. He gets back to me, and he, like, if we need anything, he's always there. I mean, we're booked all the way up with guests on every Sunday from now until the beginning of June. So I mean, and that's in part because of fellas like yourself who stayed friends with the show, and we appreciate you to the max, man. We are thrilled, beyond thrilled, of all your successes, everything you got going on right now. The movie, I can't wait to see the movie. And then whatever happens from here, man, we're gonna keep close tabs on you from here to the end of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's important, man. That's what I try to tell people, man. I just, I think it's very important for people that know you before you make it to be supportive before, because I think that'll help. You know what I mean? Because I just don't want people who I've never met before, who I may have met maybe once or twice, and then, when you make it, everybody's like, oh my God, hey, look, I remember you. And for me, I'm just like, it's not happening. It's not happening. I'm always remember the people that supported me before I made it big. The people like you. You know what I mean? You always check up on me. We always have that dialogue, and it's genuine. And you're a student of the game. You want to learn the business. You respect the business. You know what I mean? Keith, you as well. We don't talk as much like that, but it's still love, and you guys respect the business, man. So yeah.
I'm the first one to admit I'm bad at social media and all that stuff, but I mean, hit me up anytime, man. I'm good at replying. I'm very bad at starting the conversation, but I'm pretty good at replying when it is going on.
Yeah.
I don't know how long. You might have been a year in, even when I first saw you live. I showed up with TJ and Mary's. Well, no, with Professor Keith and TJ.
Yeah,
in Marysville to see. And when we saw you in a one-on-one matchup, and you that first drop kick I saw you can literally be standing right next to a guy and elevate up and be like drop kicking him in the head. A lot of guys can't do that. A lot of guys elevate and drop kick you in the chest. You can jump high enough where you look like you're kicking them in the head, and then you were working on the springboard from the outside. You were working on the high cross body springboard from the apron.
Yeah.
And I mean, man, I'm like, dude, this guy's got everything he needs, charisma, the moves. He's gonna obviously he's smart enough to know he should never stop learning. He's smart enough to know that he has to build his brand and get his name out there. And now you're wrestling all over the country. Arizona, dude, come on. Arizona, Wisconsin. I mean, what's next? Texas?
I wrestled in Texas, but yeah, I was supposed to wrestle this weekend, but they never got back to me in time. And I'm not really a last minute type of person, so 2 days.
Right.
Nah. So, but like I told you before the first show, I'm still got my eyes on Germany. That's what I got my eyes on. Germany.
Ooh, yeah. And we've been talking to those guys over there.
I was just gonna say, don't we know some folks in Germany?
Yeah, we do.
Well, I know. Yeah, Funk might know the same guys because because remember when we had the guys from Switzerland? Dead Saul was the guy's name. His name is Ben Schenker, and then the other guy, his name was Hashi, but he was Buck Beaver, the wrestler. And we had those guys on, and then they got us in touch with Alex Wright, who runs the German wrestling school over there called The Right Stuff.
Okay.
They're going to start doing you might want to get in touch with him because they're going to start going up and running things over in Germany soon because they were on hold for COVID. COVID was really bad in Germany. And so now, but anyway, he put me in touch with Alex Wright. I've been emailing Alex Wright back and forth. He's going to come on around the turnbuckle someday soon.
Wow. That's awesome.
Which is awesome. And that was just from you met Dead Saul, Ben, and then the next thing you know, and then he and I, he got married and he's been, we text each other all the time. I think that's a marvelous thing. That's a marvelous thing that Keith and I have gotten to meet all these people from not only all over the country, but all over the world now. And we're going to start having guys. We're going to start having guys on, and then of course, Dino Santa down at 3WA is hooking us up with some guests because he wants to try to make our platform bigger so that when wrestlers come on here who want to tell their story, we have more eyes on them, and that's all we want to do.
Yeah, I tell a lot of guys, man, you can't just post once and just be like, hey, I'm doing a podcast, check me out, man. Like you have to promote it, and that's what I do, man. Anything I do, I want people to see it. I want people to be there, and I want people to check out your brand as well. So just seeing it one time is not going to cut it. You know what I mean? You have to continuously promote. And like my Instagram, I post on my Instagram a lot more. So that's where I do a lot of my, like, I be forgetting to post on Facebook. But it's so much because you have to do Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Like it's so much. So I just try to, like, I'm just perfecting Instagram right now because I'm in the process of getting my blue check and be verified. So that way I can slide in all the, Triple H's DM. I can slide in Stephanie McMahon's DM, Vince McMahon DM.
There it is.
Once you get that blue check, your account becomes important. So you can have these conversations with people that have their blue check, like celebrities and stuff. So that's a benefit. So, yeah.
I hope that happens to you soon, man, because you deserve everything that you're doing because not just because of your work ethic and everything that you do, but just you're an overall good guy. Like I said, like you give to all these people you come across. I mean, me and Keith, you just met us and you've done so much for us. Like anything that we can do for you, please let us know because I don't know what that would be. But seriously, anything you got coming out or promoting or anything like that, man, I want to help you. That's what this, as Thundercat Greg said earlier, that's what this business should be about. And a lot of guys are just out for themselves. They wouldn't dare help anybody else. But you help everyone else and never ask for anything in return. And I appreciate you to the max, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, that's, when I first broke into the business, kayfabe was kind of still like real. So a lot of people were like, I don't know. I just didn't feel like it was a lot of people that was really, I don't know. They was just real secretive with information. Like even promoters to try to get you booked elsewhere. People was real secretive. And I'm like, why? I'm like, if I have a promoter and you know what I mean? I'm going to tell people, hey, this promoter, that promoter, or like, it's all about spreading the word. Like, I don't believe in hiding information or withholding information. If I have the information and it can help the next person, why not? Like, I don't want it all for myself. You know what I mean? Because think of it like this. If you look at the wrestling business like this, right? You have somebody who's starting out training for wrestling. You have somebody who's starting out having their first match. You have somebody starting out winning their first championship on the indies. You have somebody starting out getting a contract with AEW, WWE. Everybody's always moving up, right? Somebody's going to move up eventually. So it's either you move up or move aside. So if you're moving aside, or even if you are moving up, help somebody on the way up. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. You know, I don't mind.
How thrilled would you be if I text you one day and I heard JT Funk just got booked on AEW Dark?
Oh, I know JT is going to get booked, going to get signed with one of these companies because, like you said, JT, you're doing the right thing. You're helping people. And look, you never know how that's going to come back to you. Maybe the guy you wrestled last weekend, he was impressed with you. He liked you. Down the road, he's going to get hired somewhere and he's going to say, hey, there's this guy I wrestled, back in the day named JT Funk. Here's his contact information. Here's his YouTube channel. Go look at his matches. Because you're right, it is about people helping people. Ric Flair didn't come out of the gates Ric Flair. He had to work hard. He had to get people that were willing to work with him, willing to teach him. For instance, Dusty Rhodes to tell him, no, you don't want to name yourself Rick Rhodes. You don't want to tie yourself to me. That was good advice. You want to be the first you, not the next me.
Right.
And that's how it's got to be. I get that at the top, there's only so many spots, there's only so many top guys, but at the end of the day, it's like the circus. The circus doesn't sell on just one act. It sells on the whole presentation, the whole of the circus. And I know eventually it's going to happen for you because one of the other things you do that's so smart that I think bogs a lot of guys down is you're willing to put the miles in and you're willing to say, no, I don't want to be over in the king of this state or this other state over here. We saw you on the East Coast. Now you're out in the Midwest, you're out in the West Coast, you're going wherever the bookings are, and you're learning because everywhere it's a little different, right? What we like up here in the Northeast maybe completely doesn't work out in the Midwest, or maybe it does, but you have to change the tempo a little bit, or you have to tailor it a little more. Would that be accurate?
Yeah. It would be. It was a little delayed. I'm sorry. That's why I answered so late.
That's okay.
Yeah, but that's accurate. That's accurate for sure. And it's funny that you say that because like I've always wanted to reach out to different places, but I never had the finances to do it. Everything costs, everything costs. Whether you fly yourself out or you know what I mean, hotel, everything costs. Even driving somewhere. I drove my Kentucky. This is the first trip I drove to Kentucky about 2 weeks ago. I wrestled there. I was booked last minute from the Milwaukee show a couple weeks before that. And I had to get a Kentucky's license. And I was like, it's only 7 hours. I'll just drive, haven't did a road trip in a long time. So I was like, let me just drive. But like, I've always wanted to travel for wrestling. I just never had the finances to do it. But now that I'm in a better place mentally, physically, financially, like I can really make it happen. And now that I'm a businessman, right? So I always negotiate with promoters now. Like, look, okay, like if you can either cover my hotel or even I'd normally just say my flight. If you just cover my flight and pay me to wrestle, I'm cool. I'd worry about my hotel, later, you know what I mean? And it's just communicating, they're people, right? But this is still a business. I'm not 2-3 years in where I'm working for free. I'm not doing it anymore,
Yeah.
So and a lot of promoters respect that, because it's communicating. It's like, hey, are you willing? Even if a promoter say, hey, look, I can only, do just your way here. I can't pay you way back. Like that's communicating, right? I'll take that. We'll make it work. So yeah, man, it's just and I see so much politics being local all the time, right? It's so much stuff, and guys get so wrapped up in the local politics, and I'm like, bruh, like if you go somewhere else, you won't have this problem, and people appreciate you more. They'll pay you more. It's just so many. Wrestling is so beautiful outside of your hometown. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And we try to support as many as we can. It's just that a lot of things with gas prices the way they are right now, and there's a lot of different reasons why we can only kind of go as local as we can, but we really try to, like, if we can't be there live, we really try to promote local stuff. I see Keith all the time on, like you said earlier. sharing flyers, even
Yeah,
even doing
guys.
that, getting
Yeah,
more eyes
guys.
on flyers.
Anybody watching this, if you're friends with me on Facebook, if you're not, let's become friends. I won't bother you, I promise. But if you have a flyer, if you have a show coming up, I always hit the share button as long as you
Yep.
make sure it's shareable. Even if I can't buy a ticket, the least I can do for you is to put your flyer up, and hopefully somebody that's connected with me is going to see your flyer and is going to buy a ticket to your show, or maybe they're going to, you know, if you have your matches, post links to your YouTube up. I'll share them. Whatever I can do to try to help you. Because, yeah, I can't buy a ticket to everybody, but I can at least hit the share button. It doesn't cost me anything. And hopefully it makes some money for you, because that's what this is all about here. This is why we do it. We want to help everybody, whether you're in our home state or not. We would like everybody to get better. That's why I love having JT on, because the last 30 minutes or so, I can't count how many good little nuggets of wisdom he's just throwing out there for free to you guys. And the best thing he just said it. He's a businessman. He has a product to sell, his wrestling, his body, his abilities. He's selling that. And that's how you've got to look at it with the promoter. You're selling yourself to this person. You have every right to try to get what the best deal that you can get for that, because you're an athlete. Athletes are always time limited. I know we don't like to talk about that, but things happen. Your body can only do this for so long. It really is incumbent on you to get the best deal you can for every single match.
So Thundercats here, he says it's crazy but weird. Also, it's very hard for me to get booked in my hometown. I have 3 promotions around me that some of these guys are so old school for some reason, because I didn't train with them. I can't get booked.
Well, here's the thing about that, Thundercat. You're not going to get booked at every promotion that you may want to, right? So that's why it's imperative to, number one, stand out, right? So promoters, because if a promoter reaches out to you first, you have leverage, right? You can negotiate how much you want to come in for, right? And you can still wrestle. Whereas if you, which I'm not saying don't do it, I will still reach out to a promoter first, right? And a lot of times, if I reach out to them first and they're interested, I'll come in, I'll say, hey, look, I'll do this first show for you for free, depending on how far it is, and just other things that you may have to consider, right? And then I'll do it for free. And if they really like me, and I'll say, hey, look, listen, we may have to talk about pricing now and booking fee now, because you see what I can do. You like what I, can do. So bring me back in, but this is what we'll do. But I just think I tell wrestlers, man, like, you have to have something to stand out, right? So number one is I believe I have the look, and I also have my logos everywhere, my jacket, my trunks, everywhere. That's my brand. So I'm a brand first. So that's that. Also, I have my own website. A lot of wrestlers don't have their own website. I have my own website. And I'm just trying to do everything in my power to stand out. You know what I mean? Because they always say stand out, stand out, stand out. Because if you're just a regular wrestler, no pun intended, if you're just a regular wrestler, just hey man, I want to get booked on the show, they're not going to book you, because it's like, okay, what makes you different from the next wrestler? It's a business, right? And it's so unfortunate that it's like that. But Thundercat, I just think you probably have to either prove yourself by either showing up, helping out, or just having something different aside from just being a professional wrestler. What else? Ask yourself, Thundercat, what else can I offer aside from just being a professional wrestler? Do I have a look? Do I have a brand? What else do I have? Because there are thousands upon thousands of other professional wrestlers, right? That's better than us. So you just have to have something. I'm not the biggest guy on the roster. I'm not the smallest guy on the roster, but I'm probably going to be the most charismatic on the roster. And
without a doubt.
So you have to use those things to your advantage. So that was just kind of me, responding to what he said.
So JT Funk, you mentioned your website. Can you let everybody know what that is? Can they get merchandise on that website?
So I'm in the person that's doing my website, it was really difficult because I want all my merch and stuff to be sold directly through my website so I can get the maximum profit. But we're having some technical difficulties right now. But my website is www.thejtfunk.com. That's THEJTFUNK.com. But my merch which is not all my merch, it's just some. ProWrestlingTees.com/the JT Funk. That's where you can get my merch at for now. But I'm trying to work on translating everything over to my actual website. Because, you know, when you order off these third parties, you know, they take a profit. Absolutely.
He says, absolutely good advice. Thank you. I have new gear coming with logos on them as well.
Trademark it. Trademark your logo too. Nobody does that. And guess what, guys? I don't know if you guys know, but I own the name JT Funk now. It's my name.
Yes, you do.
There you go.
Congratulations on that. That's awesome.
Thank you. So if you say JT Funk without my permission, I'm gonna sue you. No, I'm just kidding.
I mentioned it on the quiet, but speaking of that, though, I wanna ask your opinion. Because I know you probably, since you're so busy, you probably have less time to pay attention to it. But how much do you pay attention to WWE or AEW, and what do you think of it right now? It's WrestleMania season. That's why I'm asking.
Oh man, listen, I'm a wrestling fan at heart, but for me, it's so weird, right? Because I want to be signed, right? So it's hard. It's really hard for me to really get into it like I used to, because I believe that I should be signed and I should be on TV. People should be watching me, right? But I check a lot of the replays on YouTube to check to see what's going on. The stuff with Roman and Brock, I absolutely love it. It's phenomenal. It gets me hyped. I make sure to go back and watch the replays for the stuff that they got going on. Brock is just so he make you believe everything that he do, everything that he say, and that mystique with Brock Lesnar is a lost art, man. People you don't believe a lot of wrestlers, but you believe Brock. Like, you stop whatever you're doing and be like, okay, what the hell is he doing? You know, like Brock is just, him and Roman are just, oh man, it's just amazing. I'm really big on Bianca Belair. I love Bianca Belair. I'm just a huge fan of her. She's freaking strong. She's beautiful. Like, you know, oh man, it's not a lot going. I'm really excited to see what's going on with Cody Rhodes. I hope he comes to WWE because he is signed. Yeah. I heard he did he.
Yeah, about 10 to 14 days ago he signed.
Wow, his style fits the WWE, you know, regimen. Like, his style, my style matches well. That old school kind of like babyface heel. We don't do a lot of flip flops and stuff. So he's going to fit well now that he's been working. He's got some polishing going on and he's been traveling all over. So yeah, I can't wait to see him because his style is like right up my alley. I just love
the rumor is he's going to take on Seth Rollins at WrestleMania because they're playing it up that Seth Rollins doesn't have an opponent at WrestleMania and he's in search of one. So I think that's what they're leaning towards is Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania.
I did hear that's the plan.
I would love that. I'm going to watch WrestleMania live because I'm not missing Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, the two pay-per-views. I'm not missing for anything. I'm watching it live.
And I was showing my son some old school WWF WrestleManias earlier. We watched a little bit of WrestleManias 4, 5, and 6 on Peacock. So I've been watching some of those, just trying to show him the difference between wrestling, telling a story in the ring, versus some of the stuff that they sing the praises of on AEW. I want to show them the differences between that and that, you know, old school stuff versus new school stuff, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look, man, and I love AEW. They just got to tone it down. It's just too much flipping. And I know a lot of those guys are really athletic as hell, man, but they got to tone it down a little bit. But they do have a lot of the Daniel Bryans of the world, the Moxleys of the world, William Regal, like all these CM Punk, all these guys that's working with them and trying to tone them down. And it's amazing. I'm loving MJF, y'all. I love it.
Oh God, yes. Yep.
He is gold. He is gold.
Because he don't even have to wrestle. I would just listen to him talk the whole
time.
He's such a good heel. And his program with Punk has been phenomenal to watch. It's been the highlight of, you know, it's made me tune into Dynamite.
Yeah.
Just for that. Like, that's the only reason why I tune into Dynamite is that feud. And I know Keith will say, well, that's not a good thing, Al, because you don't give a damn about the rest of Dynamite. And they
I've tried to watch the rest of Dynamite, so I understand.
Right.
Because JT's right. You know, some of these guys don't understand that storytelling. It's like, how big of a car accident can I get in this week? And it's like, well, here's the thing. if your whole style is going to be, hey, I'm going to top the holy shit thing I did the week before, eventually you run out of holy shits to do.
Yeah.
And also, too, you're forgetting that it's a work. At some point, it's going to have to be like, well, I guess I'm going to have to shoot fall through a table, or I'm going to have to shoot fall off a scaffold and hurt myself because that's the expectation I've created. That's the only way that I'm going to be able to get that pop because I didn't learn how to make a headlock work for 5-10 minutes, or turn a DDT into, oh, that's a killer, that's done. I mean, that's what the DDT used to be. That's why it was called the DDT, because people said this is the deadliest thing that's been invented since DDT.
Right.
Right. And,
Well-
and I think a lot of guys always refer back to these great characters of the past that everybody
Mhm.
like non-wrestling fans who don't watch it anymore. They'd be like, oh yeah, I remember the Macho Man, I remember Hogan, I remember Stone Cold Steve Austin. But they refer to these characters because those characters were so over. It didn't matter what they did. It's just the fact that the character worked so well. And I understand that these larger than life characters that we refer to, they were characters, and that's what I want to be. I don't want to be just an independent wrestler, because independent wrestlers don't really sell tickets. I'm sorry. They love the characters, man.
Yeah.
That's what sells. So when I go out there and I wobble my hips, that's what JT Funk does. I'm not coming out there doing woo woo woo, doing all these fast, cool spots, because they don't care. They don't remember, So I like to tone it down and wrestle like old school babyface, and make everything that I do mean something. An arm drag means something. A drop kick means something. A DDT means something.
Yes.
A splash means everything that I do means something, because I want it to mean something. And I don't want it to just be another transitional move, if that makes sense.
Hallelujah.
It does. Yeah, I agree 100%.
My wife wants to know when you'll be wrestling in our area soon so she can see you live.
Rob has a show. I think he has one. I don't know if it's April or May, but he has a show coming up soon. I actually just came from training with them. They really miss me, so I was like, all right, we can make something shake. So, Rob's next show, I have to get that information. If you find it before me, the next show he has, April or May, I'll be there for sure.
Gotcha. Awesome. Thundercat says, I was told by someone who's been in the business for 53 years, keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely, because the fans will know what's going on, and it'll preserve your body. It will. Like, I've been wrestling for 8 years, going on 8 years now, right? And I don't have, since I've been wrestling, I don't have a moment of my back, my legs, because I tone it down. I keep it, like I said earlier, like to one of the guys that I was in the ring with, I said, I don't bump the guys that I wrestle, and I'm not going to be bumped a whole lot, because for what? If we're doing this, if we're having a feud, then maybe, or a blow off, then yeah. But if we're just wrestling one time for the first time, why am I bumping you, and why are you bumping me? Unless you're like way bigger than me, then yeah. But a lot of the guys I go against, I'm not bumping them that much,
So yeah, man, it got quiet there, Keith.
It did. I thought you were going to have something, so I just kind of laid out and waited for you.
When Funk is talking, I just listen, and it's hard not to. And then I have a question in my head, and I keep repeating it over and over as I'm listening to him at the same time. And me, Keith, I'm not a good, I can't do two things at once. So as he's right, the multitasker, that's the word I wanted. And so I'm not a multitasker. So as he's talking, I'm trying to think of the next question. And then it just, this particular moment in time, it just kind of faded out of my head.
Well, I did bring up JT's website, and I think it's great. I think it really is great. The layout's great. You have all of your stuff down here. You have your brand. You have how to get in touch with you. You have your story here. I mean, I think a lot of guys should look at this and should see this as something, again, for themselves to try
like a model.
Yeah, as a model to use, to have that ability to be like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. Because, again, I think that's the most valuable thing you've said. And I always think people should go back and watch all your interviews, because you are giving them such good advice about setting yourself up, establish the brand. If you want to do this full time, if you want to get to the next level, if you don't want to just be the hero of your hometown that wrestles, you got to do the things that you're talking about.
Yeah, and you know, it's that concept of like, don't be just another wrestler. Like, you have to stand out. That's why I was talking about that earlier. Like, it's important to have these things that nobody else have. That's how you stand out. That's how promoter go, oh, okay, I like this guy. But if you're just another wrestler, they're going to treat you as such. So that's why it's important to do things differently that nobody else is doing to stand out, right? You know, because it bugged me a lot, you know, before I had all this stuff. And I was thinking, man, like, how? And I spoke to a guy that has his own business outside of wrestling. He was giving me these, you know, gems and stuff. And he's like, man, you already doing stuff with the community. Why won't you form an LLC and you can start getting paid to do the things that you love and help people out? And, you know, that's another thing I meant to tell you guys, man. I'm sorry. But
No, go, baby.
so I've been working a lot with my community in New Jersey where I was born and raised at, because it's a bad area. I'm actually here now. I'm here visiting my mom and stuff.
Cool.
And it's a bad area, right? And the children here don't have a lot of the things that I have where I live at in Delaware. It's a suburban area, right? But here in the inner city, it's not a lot of stuff for the kids to do. And I grew up in this very same city, and I always went to go see wrestling live, but it wasn't never really televised. It was always a house show because this area was so bad. So it was never really televised. And like, it's not really independent wrestling here. So I'm talking with a couple of community organizers, and we're going to try to put a wrestling show together here in this neighborhood. So that way the kids that like wrestling, that don't really have the finances, they can come.
That is awesome.
And check it out. So I'm just trying to do a lot of things, giving back. You know, I think that's eventually, even though this is something that I love doing, giving back, I want to do it with the purpose. And I want, you know, a lot of the kids to see that, listen, man, you grew up in this environment, you can still make it too. Because look at me, right? So I want to do a lot of stuff, and I want it to be worthwhile. So that's something I got in the plans. I don't have a date yet. I have a venue, but yeah, I'm working on having my first pro wrestling show. So yeah,
dude, that's awesome. And I want to address this. I want to address this comment that Thundercat said about me getting starstruck from time to time.
You do.
First and foremost, all right, Thundercat, explain to me why I didn't get starstruck when Keith and I interviewed Stevie Ray from Harlem Heat, but I get starstruck with JT Funk. Explain that. All right, that's what I want to know. I don't know how that happens, but anyway, how can you not admire JT Funk after what he just said, not only in this past hour and giving all the advices as he always does to everybody, just giving, but now he's at home, giving to his own community, gonna put on a wrestling show for kids. I mean, come on, man. Keith and I are about to celebrate Funk our 2-year anniversary.
Oh, that's true. That did sneak up.
Over 100 interviews, our 2-year anniversary, and in that time, we've interviewed over 100 people, over 100 wrestlers, men and women alike, big names, not so big names, green as gills that have only been in it for a month, all the way up to 20-year vets, promoters, all kinds of people that we've met in the business. We made so much. We're so blessed. We are so blessed, and we got more coming, and this is great. And we're building our brand, so to speak, right? Well, in each of those times, there has been different personalities, different people, and the people that are, you know, a lot closer to like you, where, you know, they're humble, but they do know how to promote themselves, and they do know how to get yourselves out there, and they are business minded, and like yourself, you are an athlete, but at the same time, you are, as you go, learning how to make JT Funk a brand, and it is a brand, and it is now your brand. It is now, nobody else can be called JT Funk thing, and that's amazing to me. And then we have people who don't know that. So that's why it's so important to me to have you back on here to tell people that that's what you need to do. And on top of that, what you don't really realize it is interweaving in there somewhere, your personality just shines right through, because we just heard all these great things about JT Funk, the brand. And then in the middle of all that, it's like JT Funk, the human being, is an amazing human being.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. I really do.
That is so amazing, and I'm so happy and excited for you doing what you can do for the children of your hometown, says Thundercat.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So stay tuned for that. I want to bring in a big name like the Hardy Boys because a lot of people that I grow with, even my friends that don't watch wrestling anymore, we all emulated the Hardy Boys. So that'll be just something cool that they can see me either wrestling with them or wrestling against them. I don't know. I'll figure something out, but I think it'd be really cool, So
I think so too.
hey, what happened to your screen?
I don't know. We're back. Something went wrong there for a second.
Oh.
Yeah, you got all
Thundercat
scrambly.
said, everybody was blank for a minute. But anyway, are there tears in my eyes? As in my eyes? No, there were no tears in my eyes.
He doesn't have a
I
heart.
believe you have an inner love for JT Funk.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I will always care about JT Funk because ever since I've met JT Funk, I've never met a better human being, especially in this business. So, I mean, we meet all kinds of people in this business. I've never met a more giving soul in my life. And I appreciate you to the max, man. That's why I'll always support everything you do and can't wait to see what happens in this journey with you next. Just being a outsider watching. I can't wait. I can't wait to see KINGMAKER. I hope Keith and I get together and actually watch it together. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And definitely give you our critique if you may allow us to do that because we love being a movie critic.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna definitely check that out when it's available on Amazon Prime or whenever that is. But meantime, you got wrestling coming up, and you got the big final premiere of KINGMAKER on April 23rd in Wilmington. So man, again, for information on that, you can visit evanbright.com, and for information on JT Funk, you can visit his website, which was again
thejtfunk.com.
And also my Instagram and Twitter and Facebook is all the same. The JT Funk. Or you can just type JT Funk on either one of those platforms and I'll pop right up.
Yep.
I deactivated my actual Facebook page, but I have a like page. And the disadvantage with that is I can't message people first unless we've already messaged. So like Keith, I can't message you because we haven't messaged on a dialogue. So if you message me, I can be able to message you back. So that's how the like page work. It's so much to maintain everything. And like I realized I was getting more opportunities through Instagram. So I was like, let me just maximize Instagram and let me put Facebook just a like page. So people still can reach me. But yeah, Instagram is really where I'm getting a lot of my opportunities from. So
that's awesome. Thundercat says, no doubt this man is an amazing person. I'm so proud to know you, JT Funk, and I can't wait to be a part of the same space as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Dude, I would buy a ticket to Thundercat versus JT Funk any day, Keith.
Mm-hmm.
We may have to fly out together there. And go have on a hotel or something. We could pitch in for a hotel or something, save y'all money because I travel a lot by myself, man. So I'll be loving people to travel with me and cut costs with everything. That'll be amazing.
Right.
I'm in. We'll go down to he wrestles a lot in Tennessee, I believe. I'm in for a road trip. Let's go.
Okay. All right, yeah. I was in Kentucky. That was a 7-hour drive for me. So anything under like 8 hours, I can drive. But if it's over like 10 hours, I'm flying in.
we gotta get Thundercat up here in PA. That's what I said.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's amenable to it.
Yeah. So man, we're just like that, the hours gone by. It's unbelievable. Again, I'm gonna reiterate, thank you so much for being you. Thank you so much for all you do for this business. While you're doing this for yourself, you continue to give and give and give to not only your community, but to your friends and all the people that you've met along the way, advice as you go. 8 years in the business and you just keep learning and you just keep getting better. And Keith and I couldn't be more proud to know you Um, brother, I wish you nothing but the best in everything that you do. And we are going to be staying in touch. I don't even have to ask you that question because I know it's going to happen.
Absolutely, man. Listen, it's been love at first sight, man. It's been, you've been very, very very supportive, man. You always contacting me regarding anything I can do to help you, man. And like I said earlier, man, you and Keith were people who understands the business, respect the business, man. And when you meet people like that respect the business and appreciate the business, man, it just makes you want to help them even more. And it's just amazing, man. So I appreciate everything you guys have done for me. I appreciate everything that you guys are doing for up and coming wrestlers or people who've been in the business for 20 years. Because at the end of the day, believe it or not, you guys are still giving us a platform to tell our story. And aside to give the fans something that they don't really get to see like that. So I kudos to you guys for that, man. And 2-year anniversary. Woo!
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow, that's amazing. So that only means keep going, brother. Keep going.
Yeah.
It seems
And
like
we got a lot. Listen, man, stay tuned because we got a lot. We got a huge summer coming up, as Keith knows. I'm not privy to make any major announcements at the moment, but we got some legends coming up this summer here on this show just to build the platform bigger. And then we are booked solid with independent professional wrestlers from all over the country from now until the first week of June. But again, if you run across anybody that could benefit from coming on here and telling their story, send them our way as always, man.
Okay, yeah, that's no problem. I'm actually got to start sending some guys your way now, man. That I met.
Yeah, well, like I said, we're booked all the way to June, but we can make something work, as we always do for a lot of guys. And like I said, always great to hear from you, man. But I don't want to keep you any longer than the hour. But you know me. I got Keith. I got JT Funk right in front of me here. I want to talk to him all night long, but I know I can't.
Oh man, it's been greatly appreciated. If you guys are watching, as I mentioned earlier, my website is www.thejtfunk.com. That's THEFUNK.com. And my Instagram, my Twitter, my Facebook is all the JT Funk. If you type in JT Funk, it'll pop up. ProWrestlingTees.com/the JT Funk. Yes, absolutely. So yeah. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. You're rocking with Around the Turnbuckle, baby. Let's go. You got the Professor Keith. You got the Big Al Boski. I said it right. The Big Al Boski, baby.
Keith, you got any party words for my man before we get out of here?
I mean, I think we covered it. Proud to know you. You are just a fantastic person. I appreciate everything you've done for us. I mean, it's crazy. In only 2 years, we've gone from a couple of guys that were saying, hey, it might be fun to try to do something on YouTube and screw around. And now we're in the wrestling business. That's nuts.
Commentators, man, check us out.
Yeah, and I mean, and you were part of that. You were a big part of helping us do that by coming on, having faith in us, and sending folks to us, and having the faith to say, "Hey, these guys are cool. Come check them out. Come do their show." You're one of the guys that really helped make this possible, and I can't say thank you enough for that. I can't.
No problem. Listen, the next time I come on here, hopefully I'll be signed. But the goal is every time I come, it's going to be bigger. It's going to be better because I'm making my rounds around this business. So if I succeed, y'all succeed, baby. So let's do it, man. Thank y'all so much.
I love it.
Thank
Truly
you.
blessed to know you, Funk, and man, continued success. We love you. Keith and I will be back next week on Around the Turnbuckle with another guest. I'm the Big Al Boski. He's Professor Keith. That is the one, the only JT Funk. And we will see you all next time on Around the Turnbuckle.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest set for one fall is for the WWE